Hello everyone, and welcome to Spirit Monkey. This video is a simple audio recording on the topic of creating a personal ritual. So, let's jump right into it. A personal ritual is a ritual designed by the user itself, where their innate creativity and sincerity is expressed through ways unique to them. Part 1 of creating a personal ritual, I discussed what a personal ritual entails and what factors are commonly used in the ritual practice. I also explained the linguistic and visual aids that can be used in designing a personal ritual. In part 2, the value of physical objects, movement, energy manipulation, and different states of mind was discussed. In this video, I'll focus more on other physical objects in particular. These objects, unlike those discussed in part 2, do not alter the user's state of mind, but instead carries within them innate energies and psychological reinforcement for the user. These objects come in a great variety and can be found in all shapes and sizes. Many of the objects can be seen in conventional religion, occult, esoteric, and pagan ritualism, just to name a few. As I stated in the previous video, it is not the intrinsic energetic properties of items used in the ritual that carries value. The psychological state, belief, intent, and attributes of the user is more important. Without the appropriate psychological condition of the user, the other factors of the ritual will simply fade or not be as effective. The power of the human mind as a cogwork in the cosmos is key to altering the reality. Without the knowledge of its power and relationship to what some might refer the all, the subtle energies will not be transferred and transmuted. A symbiosis is created between the mind and the other features of a personal ritual. The linguistic, artistic, and physical properties of a personal ritual only serve to reinforce the power of the ritual by providing subtle energetic values to it. Without sincere intent, belief, and understanding emanating from the user themselves, the subtle energies of outside factors will not be directed properly, and the ritual will have little to no effect. And especially so if there is no true sincerity and, most importantly, faith or belief in the power of the ritual. In conventional religion and many esoteric groups, the use of statues, effigies, and idols are commonplace. These depict various gods, saints, spirits, spiritual concepts, and different energies. Incorporating an item that depicts such a powerful force is a valuable addition to any ritual, since the idols have an intrinsic value to the collective unconscious mind of humanity. Whether one believes that these entities and energies are real or merely symbolic, the fact remains that they have been imbued with the subtle energy of humanity's continual use and worship of them. This provides a subtle energetic addition to any ritual. If one is familiar or honors any deity, spirit, or concept that the item represents, then a psychological reinforcement is provided to the user beyond the intrinsic energetic effect that the idol or item provides in itself. This greatly improves the effect of the ritual. In pantheistic religions, many different deities and idols are worshipped and have been since antiquity. Now, each deity contains different attributes and is responsible for different forces, cycles, and events on Earth and in the lives of humans. This is also true in terms of saints, ascended masters and spirits, and many more. Choosing a deity, spirit, or force applicable to the ritual is recommended. For example, certain deities such as Odin in Norse mythology and Ganesha in Hindu beliefs both represent wisdom, among many other things of course, while Freya in Norse mythology and Parvati in Hindu myth represents fertility, again among many other things. Each deity represents a variety of forces, which must also be taken into consideration. Choosing a deity or spirit according to their attributes is necessary to receive the subtle energetic blessing that the ritual is intended for. One must choose wisely and preferably those that one is familiar with. The use of certain deity figures is a sacred rite and must be treated with respect. The deities as a symbol, true being or force has existed long before the user of the ritual was born and will remain long after death. In that way, it is somewhat immortalized. Those that dedicate their lives to a deity must also be respected and their words heeded, for they do know best as to how to worship and pay tribute to whatever higher being they prefer or revere. A physical addition to the ritual that most are familiar with is that of crystals. Each crystal, due to their unique type, contains different energetic properties. This is also true for plants and their unique species. Crystals have been revered and used by man since early stages of shamanism, and not simply because they might look intriguing, but also because even today we can see that there is an energetic property attributed to them that can be measured scientifically. Crystals are used for a variety of reasons, ranging from healing, protection, psychic awareness, energetic balancing, grounding, focus, and much more. In the modern age, crystal healing is becoming ever more popular. From a scientific perspective, we are able to measure the electromagnetic radiation of the crystals. Since the cells in a human body communicate by what is referred to as biophotons, humanity has been able to measure the effect of a crystal on our body's biophoton activity. It has been concluded that crystals do in fact stimulate biophoton activity in the human body, thus creating more vitality or healing effects. Since humans consist of a variety of bodies, more than just the physical, such as in some schools etheric, mental, spirit, and so on, each stone affects these bodies in different ways, according to their intrinsic properties. This means that different stones will aid the user in different ways. For example, amethyst is used to advance psychic ability, while kyanite is more used to balance chakras, and quartz is attributed to general protection. Using appropriate crystals in a personal ritual will greatly aid in attracting and transmitting certain energies. Once again, research into the variety of effects of crystals is required in order to produce the applicable effects intended for the ritual. Another form of using crystals include the obsidian mirror and crystal ball. Now, these items have been used in esoteric schools for millennia in quite a lot of different cultures. The obsidian mirror was popular in Greek antiquity for the same reason as crystal balls are used up to this day. It was used for scrying. The obsidian mirror is widely used in occult and esoteric ritual practice for contacting other planes and entities. This is for the advanced practitioner in general, however, and is not really recommended for those who are very new to a practice. The obsidian mirror and crystal ball is a refined tool that advanced from earlier practices such as simple water scrying. The reflective surface provides a hypnotic effect from where divination and scrying are possible, but only to those that have practiced this form of divination for some time or is used to other forms of divination. Just as in a deep meditative state, images appear that the user is then able to decipher or directly receive. These images are unclear and may seem arbitrary at first, but with training, one becomes able to quite effectively use it for scrying and other divination purposes. The attempts made to contact other realities and beings are not for the faint-hearted or fearful at all. This is for adepts and not for novices, so keep practicing and one day you'll definitely be able to do it. Now, a very powerful tool used to receive and transmit subtle energies is through geometric shapes, such as a pyramid or other platonic solids. The platonic solids refer to three-dimensional shapes, where every surface and angle of degrees are the same. There are 5 platonic solids, ranging from 4 sides to 20 sides. Each platonic solid has an element attributed to them. Now, for those familiar with tabletop games, they will identify them easily as the D4, which represents fire, D6 representing earth, D8 representing air, and D12 representing ether. And finally D20, which represents water, also known as a dodecahedron. The intricate details of the platonic solids will not be discussed here, but the typical pyramid, as it is commonly known, can be considered as half a D8 or 8-sided dice. In the center, a third of the way up from the tip of the pyramid, is its geometric center, where the most amount of energy is focused. The shape channels and transmits energy to a surprising extent. It has been shown even in mainstream academia that fruit in a pyramid takes much longer to rot. Water energized by the shape increase plants' growth and their yield. And also flowers take much longer to wither. In some cases, the flowers seem almost immortal. These are only a few effects. Now, meditation within a pyramid greatly enhances the effectiveness of a meditation, allowing people to enter much deeper states with a lot more ease. Many versions of such a pyramid can be found, as information is freely available, and these range from simple copper frames to solid crystals. Now, this can be a very powerful addition to any ritual, as the effectiveness of channeling energy is greatly enhanced. There is a reason that the pyramids are found in all parts of the world, ancient and modern. Getting to another use of items, there is a form of releasing energy out into the cosmos through fire and smoke. The act of burning represents a transformation of energy from one state to another, and when used in a ritual, the user's personal intent can be imbued into whatever is being burned, which is then empowered and released. Many religions use fire and smoke in one way or another, as it represents purification and the typical idea of the light of the all or the creator. An additional effect is added by a flame or smoke by providing a harmonious, hypnotic effect that again alters the user's state of mind. This focus is similarly achieved through a crystal ball, mirror, or water gazing. But burning of certain plants and materials such as specific wood, herbs, and incense does release a specific effect attributed to it. For example, sage has been widely used for cleansing and healing, while tobacco is used to stimulate other plant growth and spiritual communication as a whole. Such as in the case of crystals, each species is again unique. Now, a variety of effects can be achieved and released. In this case, energy is released rather than attracted, such as some crystals do. However, the smoke or fragrance some argue does attract certain forces. It is that pleasant smell attributed to whatever realm or deity that you try and contact that is attracted by whatever you're burning. Now again, the plants are living entities and must be respected for their aid. They have bodies invisible to average human senses and are conscious in their own particular way. Thus they have to be thanked and revered, just as all living things must. In fact, here in the southern tip of Africa, many cultures, when they train their witch doctors, teach their new practitioners to first ask the plant if they may be used, then explain also what the plant is used for and who the aid will be given for, before you're allowed to harvest the plant for medicinal value. Now I know a lot of people might not agree with this, but it is a form to show respect, which is very valuable when it comes to working with different forces. Now getting to water as an object or item. It is not simply using for gazing as mentioned above, but is an attracting force in itself. It embodies the principle of magnetism, according to quite a variety of esoteric schools. Its opposite, fire, is an expanding or electrical force on the other hand. But water has been shown, in modern science even, to change its properties according to the vibrations that it is exposed to on a physical and mental level. When water is suddenly frozen after being exposed to harmonious music or thought or meditation, then the shape it takes is a harmonic tetrahedral shape, like that of a snowflake, for example. While water exposed to a violent sound or music and thought becomes disharmonious and does not take on any beautiful geometric shapes. It is completely out of harmony. Now incorporating water into a ritual can be done by ingesting it or simply blessing it. One must either say, sing or think positive concepts directed at the water, and it will attract those concepts. As simple as that. When ingested, the water is harmonious and provides harmony to the body. It can also be left alone and be used as a force of attracting the intended energies toward the ritual. Now remember that humans and all life, as is commonly accepted by conventional means, is constructed of water itself. Now creating positive energy within and without oneself affects the water within one's own body and will allow the user to resonate at a higher frequency, thus attracting the applicable or appropriate energies. Now when we see many practitioners, we see them adorned in different kind of clothing with amulets and so on. So let's have a brief look at the personal adornments that the user can use, which comes in just as large of a variety as all the other physical additions. For example, using staves, wands, robes, jewelry, and other features are effective in attracting and expelling certain energies of the user themselves, which can then be transferred into the ritual. These adornments act as a symbol and as a tool with their own unique subtle energies applicable to whatever they are used to symbolize. For example, jewelry made of certain crystals, robes with specific symbols, and wands made of certain woods, just to name a few. It also mentally induces a state of mind within the user themselves by allowing the user to become the shaman or the priest, or that version of themselves. By doing this, the user knows their role in the ritual, essentially being tied to it. This ritual is then taken far more seriously and actually sincerely. Now much can be said about the role, style and tools. However, there is not enough time to discuss all of this in detail. What was also not mentioned is the celestial clockwork or the heavenly bodies, and how the planets, moon and the zodiac affect the ritual. But there is a lot of information widely available on this subject, and I really recommend that you go have a look on it. Now to conclude, the physical additions to a personal ritual can be very powerful and in most cases have to be treated with respect. The mental state, belief and intent of the user is of the utmost importance. If the user is not sincere in their intent, then the energies will not be channeled properly. The items, whether it is a deity statue, crystal, plant or any other item, have powerful energetic properties in it themselves and must be treated as sacred. This is especially true with any idol of a deity or spirit or force, but also true with the simple consciousness of plants and crystals. It is the divine right of the user to use them as they please. However, one must understand that these energies are given to the user and not taken by them. At first, at least. It is a gift, and will not be effective if not treated with sincere respect. With this third part concluded, one can have fun creating a personal ritual by adding various factors that one wishes. The ritual can be very simple or very complex, depending on your preference or the power that you wish to instill in the ritual. With this newfound understanding, go and play around with the ritual you wish to create. But something very, very important to remember is whatever you use this for, since it is a neutral force, you will bear the karmic responsibility of your actions. This force is just like your hands, in that you can either use it to create or caress someone, or you can use it to break something or beat someone. The choice is up to you, and I will not dictate what you must do. But remember, you will bear the karmic responsibility of your actions. But with all this said, I hope you have a bit more understanding of creating a personal ritual, and that you can see that you do not need conventional dogmatic occultism or religion to use these forces. The force is within you, and you have the divine right to use it as you will. With all this said, have a fantastic time. This is Spirit Monkey signing out. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please click like and subscribe. Also check out our main webpage, spiritmonkey.me, for a lot more interesting articles and links to all the other pages. And also check out our Patreon page. If you feel like giving $1, please do. It's all appreciated. Other than that, have an awesome day. Cheers.